Hello, and welcome to another episode of Smart Sex, Smart Love. I'm Dr. Joe Court, and today we're going to be talking about couples that have what we call sexual desire discrepancy. What that means is that one partner wants sex more than the other. This is probably one of the most common things people come into therapy with, and it's a very common thing amongst couples. And basically what it is one partner has a higher sexual interest, a higher sexual drive, and the other partner has one that's less. However, in the beginning of a relationship, when we fall into romantic love, we match our partner's libido. So when you fall into romantic love, what happens is your internal pharmacies release. So you have a release of oxytocin, you have a release of dopamine, adrenaline, and what happens is if you're a low sex drive person, your sex drive goes up. And if you're a high sex drive person, it might go up or stay the same, but you finally feel like you found your match. So the low sex drive person feels like, oh my gosh, I feel like I've never met somebody like you before who can get me. They're just touching me or just blowing on me. And the high sex drive person feels like, wow, I've finally met somebody who can keep up with the rhythm that I like to have. But what happens is that's only good for the first 6 to 18 months. And after that, the sex drives go down, we go back to our natural state, and the lower sex drive person, I should say, goes back to their natural rhythm, and the higher sex drive person goes back to theirs. And then they feel tricked, and then they feel angry. The low sex drive person says, you know, you made me feel like, and whatever you were doing, that I was going to be able to have a good sex life with you, and now that's not the case. And the high sex drive person says, you tricked me. I feel like you acted like you were able to have sex with me and keep up, but now you can't. So now they start to have these conflicts and angry conversations. So then they come into therapy, and the first thing we would do as a sex therapist is we would want to rule out anything that's medical. So I always tell my couples, go to a doctor, have a good physical, have a hormone panel done to make sure that everything's going well physiologically for you. If you're on any medication that can lower libido, increase libido, I want to know about all that. Your doctor needs to know about all that. It's because that can be affecting physiologically the sexual rhythm of yourself and in your relationship. Once we get that aside, then we start to look at the psychological, and people have all kinds of reasons about why they have sexual discrepancies. Sometimes they have what we would call lack of sexual differentiation, where one partner wants it one way, another partner wants it another way, and these are different attachment styles. So I would want to talk to couples about what are the different ways that they want to be sexual. What's their sexual style? One partner has their style, the other partner has their style. There are erotic codes for couples. One partner might want sex only or mostly for procreation, only or mostly for being relational with one another, or another partner may want it only or mostly for recreation. All three, two of the three. So each partner in the room might have a very different idea of what sex should or shouldn't be. Then we would want to get out on the table conversations about what's the sexual vision of this couple. And so I borrow from the work of Barry McCarthy, and he wrote this really good book called Rekindling Desire. It's really a really good book, and all of his work is really good about different couples having different sexual styles and finding their sexual style. And then we'd want to look at resentments, because sometimes couples come in and they have long-standing resentments toward a partner regarding the lack of sexuality, regarding other things outside of the sexual realm that are impacting their being able to be and willing to be sexual with a partner. And then I talk to couples about, you do have to plan for sex. Lots of couples think that you don't have to plan for sex. It should be spontaneous. And that's just not true. It's spontaneous in the beginning because we're ready for sex at any given moment. But once nature drops us off and our hormones go back to normal and we go back to our normal rhythms, then we aren't so natural and we do have to plan for sex. And people protest this because our culture teaches us that we shouldn't have to, but we do. So that's also on the table. And then sometimes couples haven't had sex in quite a while. So then we would look at something called Sensate Focus. You can look this up online. It's a very important tool that a lot of sex therapists use. It's called Sensate Focus. And it really takes sex out of the equation, and orgasm and erections and lubrication all out of the picture, so that you can just be with your partner, sort of slowing it down and beginning to re-explore each other's bodies, and not letting it end in sex until you have some time where you re-experience and re-explore it, what we call pleasure bond in the bedroom. So these are the ideas about sexual desire discrepancy. If you have it, you're normal. It can be worked through. These are the things you need to do to make that happen. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.